Hey Orlando team. In case you don't know me, I'm Isabel, the office manager for our Maitland office. I also am the head of the Orlando Engagement Committee, who initiated March's social purpose Past the Pump for Women's History. This video and others you'll see like it are for honoring the women in our life who have inspired, coached, and guided each of us to be who we are today. Though it may be a little cliche, my female role model is my mother, Shannon.
All about celebrating women in the past, but also in the present. The consistent female leader in my life has been my grandmother.
The women who inspire me in my life are definitely my mom and my 3 sisters.
Female leaders I admire most would certainly be first and foremost my grandmother.
My mother has had a difficult life. She grew up with 6 older siblings and a mother and father who were emotionally distant from most of their children, so she had to rely on her siblings and other family members around her instead of going to her parents for help. My mother had her first child when she was 18 and living on a military base, and has dealt with lots of life-changing events that someone shouldn't have to live through. She's faced many health problems, including battling and overcoming cancers and chronic illnesses that she still fights today. However, she's still the most strong-willed and thoughtful person I have ever met.
She's actually my step-grandmother because she married my grandfather before I was even born, but to me, she's just grandma. And a lot of people have actually said that they thought that we look alike, but she didn't actually have any children of her own. She's been married to my grandfather now for over 30 years, and next month he's going to be turning 94. She took care of him for, as long as they've been married. She originally came here from Cuba to the U.S. with her mom, and she took care of her mom until her very last day. She has taught me how to take care of others as well as myself, first by teaching me how to cook, how to be organized, and how to manage my finances. She has really shaped me into the woman that I am today, and I'll always be forever grateful for her.
My mom, because she's always been a very kind and patient person, but she's always encouraged me to stick up for myself and stick up for what I believe in. And she's always been my biggest supporter, no matter what. And I can always rely on her if I'm having a bad day to cheer me up with something just really funny, or if I need advice on something, she's always there for me. And even if she doesn't know what to do, like a lot of us, she will just say, I'm here for you and I'll support you in whatever decision you make. Just know that I'm always going to love you.
She was born in an era that there was still quite a bit of female repression, and she was in an unsafe environment, and she picked up her 2 daughters and moved them across the country where she felt she could be safe and successful. And she would go on to be one of the first female teachers who created a early child development program in the state of Florida. She was just a trailblazer, very happy, charismatic woman, and certainly someone I looked up to.
Though she is my mother and has given me and my siblings everything we could need, she is consistently giving away all of herself to others in her life and never really takes time to be loving and caring to herself. She's always there for my brothers and me with anything that we've dealt with in our lives, from broken homes and broken marriages to planning for a larger family. My mother is always supporting her grandchildren as they succeed through their school careers and are developing passions and skills through their journeys.
The other women who influence me in my life are definitely my sisters. I've got 2 older and 1 younger, and I mean, they're just kind of my best friends, to be completely honest. We argue and of course we get sassy with each other, but at the end of the day, we're the only ones who can do that with each other. We're definitely super close, and I also rely on them for a lot of advice and a shoulder to cry on, but also somebody to laugh with when we really need that. So I'm very happy to have them in my life and to have those good relationships with them, to know that no matter what happens, they always have my back and I always have theirs.
From a famous perspective, it would have to be Condoleezza Rice. She was the first female African-American leader to hold the position of Secretary of State. And she was once interviewed and asked, how did she become so good at making decisions? And she said from a very young age, she had an opportunity from her parents to be head of the house.
I hope my speaking about my mother as a role model inspires you to think about your female role model. And I encourage you to give some time, some thoughts, and love to them today and tomorrow and the next days to come. As everyone needs to hear someone appreciates and loves them.
Other female leaders. Well, within our organization, I would say Stephanie Parker, my counterpart, and she is brilliantly herself and wise beyond not only her years, but you can't help but be engaged by the way that she thinks and talks. And so it's easy to want to mimic her in a lot of ways.